En vanlig. Maten är färdig. And let's see what we're doing when we get back. Greek. We're doing Greek when we get back. Ben neredeyse her gün okula gidelim. Fun fact. Turkish. Hello, Shakespeare. How you doing? Fun fact, in Spanish, the word for bishop in chess is alfil. And that actually comes from Arabic. Fil. The same word fil as this. Meaning elephant, because the bishop traditionally was to represent elephant units somehow. Similarly, in Russian, the word for bishop is squab, and that also means elephant. Okay. 10-159. Haven't made a huge dent in it, but we're getting there. Okay, gonna do some Chinese now. Nej. Man. Igen. Jo. 5. Ducks are drinking wine. Bangvaz. Okay, Bangvaz is duck. Okay, I have now leveled up. Let's see what the XP situation is now. 10,340 out of 12,500. And as always, viewers can choose my next language for me just with a follow and a $5 to my Patreon. I buy a computer or what? And here's another example. I like to point these out. For this word for or, but sounds vaguely like hogun and the hok in hogun in Korean or waku in Japanese, and that appears it is the exact same Chinese character. Oh, I see. This is dikhe ishai fui, which means do you want food? But yeah. Are you hungry? That kind of thing. How are the boys? Sine da boy. Posso milao. Pote. When is it? Proteine. Utros. Protocolo. In the designated chicken-eating area, obviously.
Leave. Monsieur.
See.
Live là. Liwe, live là.
맞아요.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sí. Eso sí. 맞아요. 그렇지. Inter. Počkej. A. Sí.
Oilen coginio panas. Jacob. Hefed. 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 Hek. Hek. Hek.
Mwalimu.
This is Arabic. And it's from Mu'allim.
Juma ni mwalimu mke.
Oh, thanks to cat sons. Meow and the pictures of the fish. That's they were proud.
스프 pupu yrittävät uraista omena
Are in the city center. And it's got some interesting aspects to it.
여자는 어느 나라에 있습니까? 여자는 어느 나라에 있습니까? 여자는 어느 나라에 있습니까?
Countries for living things.
아니, 너名前は
Perfect. Okay, 3 of 4.
El hospital.
Okay, we've leveled up and it is time to pick another language. Morfar är tröttare än vanligt. Maten är färdig. And let's see what we're doing when we get back. Greek. We're doing Greek when we get back. Ben neredeyse her gün okula giderim. Fun fact. Turkish. Hello, Shakespeare. How you doing? Fun fact, in Spanish, the word for bishop in chess is alfil. And that actually comes from Arabic. Fil. The same word fil as this. Meaning elephant, because the bishop traditionally was to represent elephant units somehow. Similarly, in Russian, the word for bishop is squab, and that also means elephant. Okay. 10-159. Haven't made a huge dent in it, but we're getting there. Okay, gonna do some Chinese now. Nej. Nej. Man. Igen. Jo. 5. Ducks are drinking wine. Bambas. Bamba, okay, Bambas is duck. Okay, I have now leveled up. Let's see what the XP situation is now. 10,340 out of 12,500. And as always, viewers can choose my next language for me just with a follow and a $5 to my Patreon. I buy a computer or quack. And here's another example. I like to point these out. For this word for or, quack sounds vaguely like. Hello and welcome to Hyperpolyglotting with Elise, where, well, I'm Elise, and we are going to continue to play arena mode now that we've actually, after much trying, finally managed to get through that that final boss level, which is, I mean, on easy mode, in still not particularly easy. I mean, I will admit I'm not a pro gamer, and maybe it is considerably easier for somebody who is. But certainly. Wait a second, what's my control? That's my control now. There we go. Controller's working. Now we're gonna play in arena mode. Where I believe I'm actually about to fight the final boss of the Maestro level. Además de vitalizante, aumenta la curación de las habilidades especiales. Tras cada parada, el siguiente ataque será un golpe crítico. Derrotar a un enemigo te otorga medio trozo de salero. Okay. See, the way arena mode works in this is that you, hang on. Realized I haven't got chat where I can see it. Let's get that fixed before I get going. And we also just dropped this link in chat. Anyone who would like to support my current crowdfunded translation project, which is the writings of Inessa Armand, which have never been translated into English before, as far as anyone has been able to find. I am translating them. I've already done 4 of her essays, and so I'm trying to raise a total to cover the costs of translating it and editing it of about 8,500. And this also is going to help me get through kind of a really difficult time in the translation industry as well. So all support is very, very much appreciated. You can read the 4 draft translations on my Patreon page. They are available in PDF format there. Okay. That wasn't good. Okay. Ooh, shit. Okay, I'm already running out of health. Ooh. That did not go far.
Of course, I let them think I was defeated.
Looked pretty defeated to me, but okay. So, getting a start. Para un ataque aturde al atacante. Oh, that's handy. Cada vez que te curas, aparece un proyectil aleatorio. Los ataques que restan PS, puntos salud, a los enemigos también lo debilitan. Gonna go with this one. Gonna do way more dodging, I think, than anything else. And so having that.
Don't get in my way.
fue eso, weón?
Calls me that. Worth your gold. Stand back.
Okay, this is actually like comical at this point. The way they just immediately just okay. Love the noise they make when they get stunned.
Not a chance.
Wait, did I just win? That wasn't as hard as I was expecting. Okay, I really like that version. Ok, cada vez que te cura, aturde a dos enemigos cercanos. Recuperáis salud tras hacer X parada. Al darle una patada a un enemigo, lo debilitará. Tough choice. Gonna see. Okay, when we kick them, they get weakened. I like that. That seems like a good arrangement.
Está bien. Take your time. Always keep trying.
Ah, shit. That didn't last long.
This never
There's
happened.
kind of a lot of them in this one. Okay, gonna start over. Tienes salero. Las explosiones te devuelven un PS. Ya no te infligen daño. Las bombas de la granadera. Okay, I like that. I can if I'm causing explosions, I get health back. I'm all for it.
Stop throwing those around. I'll make this quick.
Okay, I've gotta
This could help.
cause an explosion someplace to get some health back.
Let's settle this with a duel, ¿vale?
Carajo, weón.
I won't let this stop me.
Oh, boy. Okay, a ver. Let's see. Al derrotar a un enemigo puedes soltar proyectiles aleatorios. Okay.
Don't be shy. Adelante! Finish my thing together. I'll show you.
Two exclamation marks are very handy.
Help you.
Means I can get a critical hit.
Let me duel in peace. Shoot that one off, all right.
Chucha.
Next time, I'll teach them a good lesson.
As opposed to that one, that was not a very good lesson. I taught them that they could kick my ass. Atacar un derribado pierde un PS al instante. Okay.
Ever heard of suppressive fire? I'm not retreating. For me, what a never learned to do that. Try me. I dare you. This one's for you. You're going to strain yourself.
If I could only have a regular day for once. My head.
It's been great seeing you.
Bad jokes won't save you, Maladon. Ready for the damages. This is the time.
Panic.
Oh, I didn't like that.
Ah, no.
Come on, Adalia. You can do better than this.
I just got my special activated too, damn it. Okay, random projectiles. I like random
How many are there?
projectiles.
Watch your step.
What's your annoying sidekick this time?
He's not my... Never mind. There's too many of them.
That again.
Let your guard down. Time to play.
Okay. It's him sorted. Ooh, no.
Of course, I let them think I was defeated.
Drossalero. Digo sepano atul.
Is that even a real sword?
En Garde. Practicing.
Keep her away from me!
You asked for it.
If I leave my mustache.
Ole. Now's my chance.
Don't miss her again! Oh, my things!
Oh, damn it.
Watch out.
Someone else did you intend to answer? I can do this! Surrender now!
Move gracefully this time.
It's just you and me now.
You could make a fine mercenary, you know. You have no sense of style.
I'm not impressed.
Thanks for the head.
Leave the rest of the day off.
Madam is feeling feisty.
Okay, come on.
Are you going to eat me anytime soon?
I didn't plan on it.
Try if it amuses you.
That's how you do it.
You never speak
Oh,
sense.
damn it. I didn't see him coming from there.
Next time, I'll teach them a good lesson.
Okay. Stunning jars. I like it.
Step back. Here we go. Show me what you got. Let's see how you deal with this. Fire. We should have I wrote your name on this one. What a shame. What a shame. Oh. Step away, Oven Caesar! Misfortunes never come alone. You just can't stay away from me. tingling.
Oh, hell.
It's not what actually happened.
Okay. Every time I dodge, it's a critical hit next.
You go. We survived it. Now it's a fair fight. You think I can beat you? Very well. How tough can you be? I love that sound.
Let her escape the fight! Seize her! Someone help me! Careful! Again!
Vaya.
Too scared to panic!
Are you sure you don't want to give up? I can't say I'm surprised you're involved.
Our company is undefeated!
Not for long.
Tactical retreat!
Overrun.
Stop fooling around! She's here! I'll get you next time! That's enough!
You almost got me. Keep on trying.
And again, and I swear!
Foolish words fall on deaf ears. In bad weather, keep a good face.
Leave her to you!
Who's the readiest one now? I'll try with you.
The counts do will be pleased.
Damn.
They wouldn't defeat me that easily.
Cada vez que tu ataque ese a un enemigo, recuperáis un PS. I always like to go for the ones that actually give me health back. That is my problem.
Someone's gotta keep you from watching.
You're not allowed to do that! Chosen to ignore all my words!
Oh my! Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Ah, ¿dónde está la huevona?
Stop using swords! Heads up! Slow down!
Ah, viene refuerzo, pero yo tengo 100% salud.
Why were you standing there? Again from the
Problem with you, swashbucklers.
This ends now.
There we go.
Impressive. Nice stunt.
Face me.
Okay.
Maybe treasure bread. Maybe next time. I knew you'd do that.
There we go.
Fleeing the crime scene? Where's your fighting spirit? I'm still here.
What was that move there?
I was close.
Okay, where'd she go? Oh shit! I almost had that one too.
I'll crawl back out of wherever they send me.
I was so close. Oh good. Okay, we've got one that'll do some stunning.
Where is she going? Which is the Give me a moment. She's here.
In your
Damn.
Next time, I'll teach them a good lesson.
It's a better lesson than that one in particular. Ooh. Okay, no, that's... Okay. Anything that stuns them, I go for.
We came as soon as we heard.
She's going to everything.
Stop putting on my video. I respect.
Bragging now, are we? Come on now.
You don't have any right to be here. Putting it out.
Damn.
We did it? It's not what actually happened.
Ooh, okay. Every time you hit a baddie with a projectile, you get health points. I like that.
You're not welcome, you see.
Does anyone else want to go? You know nothing. I'm allergic to powder. I'm trying to fight here. Don't even. I'll still reach the power. Someone just lost a bet. Here's for you. Gunpowder. Santa Barbara! I must keep this kitty
Okay, we've got reinforcements coming.
yourself there now.
It was about time we recruited veterans.
Ostras. Come here, Scratch. Let's make you run. What happened to your foster?
Please excuse me, señorita.
Don't be wait. Leading all the guards?
This will go on your record. Where is my mustache? Keep it out in time.
I didn't see you right there. one's feeling brave. They never learn.
Almost got it. There you go.
Bad man, keep a good friend.
You can do it my way. You're not getting away with this.
Let your sword do the talking. You're fast, but I'm faster. How tough can you be? Speed this up, will you?
Me? How is she so strong?
Grenades are scary, aren't they? I can clearly where you ever Are you sure we won't talk this over? You think you can run?
Am I going too hard on you?
Watch me. Could you laugh at that?
Oh, yes. Got one. Every 2 attacks I dodge, I get health? Okay, that works.
What did you do to the others?
But we're just getting started. Adelante.
You'll regret this.
When injustice becomes law, resistance becomes duty.
You don't scare us.
What scares you then?
Yes, I did that.
Ole. Aquí. No.
Don't let her distract you.
This one.
Stop messing with us. I'm blank.
Down, beat it.
Heroic, are we?
Nonsense. Time for sportsmanship.
She's mine.
I am noble of heart. Perhaps you lose more gracefully in time. Quick on my feet. Ole.
I'm stronger than that.
Vale, new plan. Think, Aralia, think.
I'm winning. I'm not done with you. We were supposed to break though. Watch out. We look after our own.
I can't say I'm surprised you're involved.
Don't stop fighting. Quit.
You almost got me. Don't try. You'll thank me later, eh? Enjoy your last. I'll show you. This is all a misunderstanding. Ay, ay, ay.
Oh shit, I got another one. Okay. I'm really making it through them this time. Okay. Oh. It's in the right place. Actually, I think I'm gonna just take a little bio break before we continue.
Perfect. Okay, 3 of 4.
El hospital.
Okay, we've leveled up, and it is time to pick another language. Mord är tröttare än vanligt. Maten är färdig. And let's see what we're doing when we get back. Greek. We're doing Greek when we get back. Ben neredeyse her gün okula giderim. Fun fact. Turkish. Hello, Shakespeare. How you doing? Fun fact, in Spanish, the word for bishop in chess is alfil. And that actually comes from Arabic. Fil. The same word fil as this. Meaning elephant, because the bishop traditionally was to represent elephant units somehow. Similarly, in Russian, the word for bishop is squab, and that also means elephant. Okay. 10-159. Haven't made a huge dent in it, but we're getting there. Okay, gonna do some Chinese now. Night. Night. Come on. Yen. Yo. 5. Ducks are drinking wine. Bambas. Bamba, okay, Bambas is duck. Okay, I have now leveled up. Let's see what the XP situation is now. 10,340 out of 12,500. And as always, viewers can choose my next language for me just with a follow and a $5 to my Patreon. I buy a computer or quack, and here's another example. I like to point these out. For this word for quack sounds vaguely like hogun and the hok in hogun in Korean or waku in Japanese, and that because it is the exact same kind of character. Oh, I see. This is Dikhe Ishai Fui, which means do you want food? But yeah, are you hungry? That kind of thing. How are the boys? Cine da boy. Posso Milao. Pote. When is it? Proteine. Utros. Totopolo. In the designated chicken-eating area, obviously.
Leave.
Monsieur. Livla. Liwe livla.
맞아요.
Yeah.
예약. 시. SOP. 맞아요. 그렇죠. 인터. 고치기. 아. 시.
Oedden coginio panas. Jacob. Hefad.
Okay.
Hefad.
Okay.
Hefad. Hefad. Hek. 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 Mwalimu.
This is Arabic. And it's from Mu'allim.
Juma ni mwalimu mke.
Oh, things speak cat sons. Meow and the pictures of the fish. That's they were proud.
Sööpä. Kupu. Yrittävät. Uraista. Omena.
Are in the city center. And it's got some interesting aspects to it.
여자는 어느 나라에 있습니까? 여자는 어느 나라에 있습니까? 여자는 어느 나라에 있습니까?
Countries or living things.
아니, 너, 나마에 와.
Perfect. Okay, 3 of 4.
El hospital.
Okay, we've leveled up, and it is time to pick.
And I'm back. How's everybody doing today, chat? Oh, wow. I'm on Arena 3 of 4. Hydrate a little bit. My throat is a bit dry. I may be making it through this level. Okay. No healing or stunning options, unfortunately, this time.
Grenadiers? Hard time catching up, eh? Leave me! I fight with my own girls. To know better.
I think I'm on the final boss now. A ver, cada vez que te cure, siguiente ataque será un golpe crítico. Al destruir cajas o barriles, forma superficie resbaladiza. Al derrotar a un siguiente patada, es imposible de bloquear. A ver, a ver, a ver. Okay, we'll go with that. That one at least has a critical hit. Oh wow, this is the last level.
Zaida, I'm glad you could make it.
You called.
Go up now! Maybe it's time you quit your job. Oh my!
Best things about this game is the whole flirtation with Saida.
I love seeing you do that. Do not test me. Yeah.
What if we did something else instead?
Okay, I gotta beat Saida 4 times.
Do better. Are you going easy on me? My pleasure.
I'll take this, thanks.
I think I see a weak spot. You sure? Really, huh?
No? Here we go. Now's the time to panic. I love this
There we go. I've only got to beat her 1 more time.
It's always isn't it?
You got it.
Mercury, my spare. Ignore me.
Let's see how you fare.
You can't stick with all of us.
Don't you like fireworks? What are you doing? Resourceful as always.
Tougher than expected. You know I love surprises.
I'm lucky in the game. Lucky in friendship.
Look weekend. Time to strike.
Nice moves.
I wish I could say the same about you.
Aren't you a lucky one?
I wasted my compliments on you.
Oh, hey. Goedenavond. How you doing, Gigem? This, En Garde is a great sword fighting game with a lot of very tongue-in-cheek dialogue. And I just finished Master Mode, Modo Maestro. Now we're on Hero Mode. Dificultad media, Jefe, El Conde Duque. And pretty soon we're gonna switch over and look at some like language related videos and things. El aumento de daño a los guardias por golpes críticos incrementa. Cada vez que consigue un trozo de salero recuperáis 2 PS. Cada vez que te curáis, aturde a 2 enemigos cercanos. Okay, health recovery, anything healing related I pretty much always take.
You didn't think it would be that easy, did you?
I need to change my plans.
This is
My fight is noble.
soldiers and grenadiers working together.
You might want to step back. It's a long way down. I'll be brief. In your dreams.
I can't be seen like this.
Ay, ay, ay.
Iron monster.
Let's make you run.
Okay, I got health and a special.
Soldiers and grenadiers working together.
If you're smart, you did it well.
Where's your annoying sidekick this time?
He's not my... Never mind. I need to move from here. How it's done. She wants to take your bombs!
She has a bomb!
Now, that's a bad step.
Into position! She's down! There's no way we can beat her!
Try to follow me now.
Okay, ¿qué más me queda?
I never learn.
You think you're better than us?
Probably.
On guard. I'm always in fight.
Oh no! I've been battered! Too weak to fight fair.
Watch me.
My unicorn! I'm just falling to the ground now. There's something very wrong with you, Vorador.
Yes? And what would that be?
Nothing cold steel can't cure. Almost got her. Wait! This is illegal!
Get ready, sir.
I got it. Okay. And with that, we're going to change gears. В other video. Oh, hang on. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Okay, let's see if I can find that one. Have a look. Never heard of this channel, but we'll see. Could be interesting.
Hey everybody, I'm Chris from Chris.
Let me just fix that audio real quick.
ChrisAmericoast.com, where we help you level up and show the world the best version of yourself. And in today's video, we're going to talk or speak about the words talk and speak.
Okay, this should be interesting, actually. Because this is one of those weird distinctions that English has that, like, native speakers do not really think about. And actually, I mean, I'm somebody who actually professionally does language-related stuff. I'm a translator. I think about weird, nitpicky, strange distinctions in languages all the time. And I don't think I've ever actually given this one much thought. So now I'm kind of curious. Okay, this is goeie recomendatie. Thank you. This looks like it could be good stuff.
And I'm going to show you 3 tools that you can use to check if your English teacher is correct or not.
Okay, interesting.
There are a lot of English teachers on YouTube, and I have a lot of respect for all of the teachers out there because teaching is not an easy job. There are
it's true. I mean,
native speaking teachers, there are non-native speaking teachers, and you've probably seen my other videos where I talk about that topic, and I tell you that native teachers are not always better than non-native teachers. In fact,
I mean, I would say the key thing fundamentally is the kind of methodology that's being used. Because if you have a teacher who isn't quite a native speaker and is using the kind of methods that actually work based on comprehensible input, interesting stuff that actually allows your brain to sort of wrap itself around your target language, English in this case, then you can always supplement, you can sort of fill in the gaps that they might have with the other stuff that you're looking at, the other stuff you're listening to and everything. But if they're like using these sort of methods where it's all sorts of drill and it's skill based and I mean just generally not stuff that is particularly useful, then yeah, that's not necessarily going to be very helpful. Let me just say, since Nightbot just dropped those links in there, that I'm currently working on a new crowdfunded translation project, which is the writings of Inessa Armand, who was Alexandra Kollontái's predecessor at the Génatil of the Bolsheviks, and her stuff has never been translated. And I'm trying to raise $8,500 to cover the cost of the translation and the edit, and also just kind of cover the costs of my staying alive and stuff. So, any support is very much appreciated. You'll help me be getting through a kind of a rough time, actually, in the translation industry. So, those links will get you, to someplace where you can support those things. There's also my Patreon where you can find the PDF versions of those.
In my experience, a lot of non-native teachers are better. Not always, but sometimes that's true. But another important thing that is true is that everybody makes mistakes.
True.
Teachers make mistakes, students make mistakes, and it doesn't matter how good of a teacher you are, you can still make mistakes. If you look at my videos in the past, I'm sure you can find videos where I've made mistakes before too. It's natural. It happens.
I've never seen any of his videos, but I'm going to take his word for that.
Happens to everybody. And before we start the topic of the video today, I want to tell you a story about something that happened on YouTube at the end of last year. Two really good English teachers who have their own YouTube channel decided to make videos about other YouTube teachers who make a lot of mistakes in their videos. They wanted to help their audience and English students around the world understand what's correct and what's not correct.
And these, I should note, are very fraught concepts, because there's the stuff that, like, prescriptive grammar pedants will consider correct. Then there's the stuff that you will actually, that is not, your prescriptive grammarians don't like it, but people, native speakers say it all the time, and it's just normal. And so the concept of correctness in this area, definitely something to be interrogated.
I'm sure you've seen a million YouTube videos of English teachers telling you you should say this, but you shouldn't say that. Hey, even I've made those videos before too. But what's different about the way that these two English teachers did it is they focused on one YouTube English teacher and the mistakes that that person made when they were teaching English. Some of the mistakes were small, some of the mistakes were big, and all of the mistakes were useful things for students to know. But nobody likes it when other people tell them that they're making mistakes.
That's true. Well, I'd say it kind of depends on what the mistake is and how you say it. I mean, but to me, the real question, it's useful to know if somebody's speech isn't necessarily something to specifically emulate if you're going for a particular effect in your target language. That's true. To me, the real mistakes, the ones that I try to focus on for the most part, to the extent that I'm focusing on anybody's mistakes, is just stuff about methodology. Because there's lots of really bad advice about methodology on YouTube. There's lots of really good advice too, and I try to, find the stuff that I'm thinking is really good advice to show people. But, okay.
Do you like it? Probably not. Maybe if you're a student in a classroom with a teacher, then you want the teacher to correct your mistakes.
One note here, it's worth noting, error correction, no matter how it's done, is not shown to be particularly useful for any aspect of language acquisition. And in fact, in the specific area of grammar, which I imagine is what we're about to be talking about, there's no evidence that actually helps. What does seem to correlate best with grammar acquisition is pleasure reading in your target language. So if you want to refine your grammar in English or whatever you're studying, the thing to do is read a lot. Find stuff you want to read in your target language and just read the hell out of it.
But if you are a YouTube English teacher making videos that teach people how to speak English, you probably don't like it when other teachers correct your mistakes. So what happened after these two teachers made all of these videos talking about other teachers' mistakes?
I've never heard of either of these two teachers, and I notice he hasn't given their names.
Well, some people got upset. Some people became angry that they were doing this. And the YouTube English teachers they were correcting are probably teachers you know. Now, you might be thinking, Chris...
Now I'm kind of curious.
Why are you telling us this story? Why is that important? Well, I recently saw a video by the same two English teachers, and I thought it wasn't right. It was a video about talk and speak.
Okay, and this is going to be interesting because, I mean, I would not be surprised if it wasn't quite right, because this is not something that is actually easy to formulate a hard and fast rule on that level, to explain why sometimes we will say talk and sometimes we will say speak. And I'm almost certain that there is a definite, regional variation in terms of which one works and which one doesn't. And I will say, I mean, one thing is going to say, like, speak or talk in English. Actually, both of those are correct depending on context. You will hear both of them used. And you will hear native speakers say talk English, for example, or talk German or something like that. And, prescriptive grammarians might not quite like that, but it is a way that people speak. It is not incorrect in the sense that if incorrect means saying things that native speakers would not say, or that mean things and are understood to mean things that are not what's intended, which I think are the most useful ways to think of it, then actually there's a great deal of leeway on speak versus talk. But I'm very curious both what these people he says didn't quite get it right have to say about it, and what he has to say about it, because I have trouble thinking of a hard and fast rule for this.
A very important topic. In their video, they corrected another YouTube English teacher for making the mistake of saying the phrase talk in English.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, native speakers definitely say that. It may not be considered the refined way of speaking, although I can think of situations where it probably would be, but...
And that made me scratch my head.
Today we're gonna learn how to use these verbs correctly. Let's get started. This is not correct.
In this video, we're going to talk about how native speakers actually talk in English.
It's not correct to say talk in English.
So
I just noticed she does not sound like a native English speaker. The one she's correcting does sound like a native speaker.
in this video, what I want to do is let you...
Like how they actually talk in English. I mean, that is not wrong. That there is no, I mean, how people talk in English, what she said definitely is totally a correct way of saying that. I mean, it is something native speakers definitely say. It is how I would say that.
You, the people watching, decide for yourself what's right and what's wrong. I'm going to show you some examples of real people, native speakers, speaking English and using the phrase talk in English.
Yeah, because you would have no trouble finding them because people say that all the time. Now, what I'm going to find interesting is, as we watch this, I'm going to see if I can try to formulate my understanding of the distinction that people are making there. Because there are things where I've actually spent a long time, because when people come up to you with language questions and stuff, like non-native speakers trying to learn what language you speak, they will often ask you questions that you've never thought about, that you've never had to think about, because these distinctions are things you internalized and don't even remember having had to make them.
And then I'm going to show you 3 tools that you can...
Okay, so let me just say, this is cool. This is a great video, I think, just because of that. Because I'm gonna see if I can formulate this distinction in real time as they're providing this, because I've never thought about it, and this is like one of the fascinating things about languages. There are all sorts of weird distinctions. Like, ask a native speaker, for example, of English, to explain come versus go as a verb of motion. Because that is not, I mean, they will almost certainly not give you a rule that actually applies to all use cases. And I'm only speaking of the verb of motion. We all know come and go can mean other things that it does not apply, that this would not apply to. But it's actually way more complicated than it seems, and yet people don't think about it for the most part who are native speakers of English.
Use in the future to check if your English teacher is correct or not. Remember, every teacher is a person, and every person makes mistakes. Yes, your teacher can make mistakes, and that does not mean that they're a bad teacher. This is what everyone needs to remember when...
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course it depends a bit about what the mistake is. But to me, what matters is developing a way of understanding exactly how to determine what actually makes sense, what actually works in a context. Because to me, knowing a language means that you can have, like, that you can calibrate the effect you're trying to have with what you're saying to make sure that it has, you know, the sort of surface level meaning of what that you're trying to have, combined with the sort of, with, you know, the right connotation. Are you trying to go for humorous effect? Do you want it to be ironic? Are you trying to, like, is there a verbal barb you're trying to include in it? The more you can sort of refine what you're trying to say so it has all that stuff, the better. And that really comes from lots and lots of exposure to people who are good at it, especially. Because that's a skill people have in differing degrees in even their native language. It is a complicated thing. To be able to calibrate your effect, you know, on a refined level, in a language you are not a native speaker of, that is a hell of a skill to acquire. And so that is what I would suggest people think about when they talk about whether something's correct or not. It's not about whether it's correct or not, it's more about what effect it has. Because everything can potentially work depending on what the effect you're going for is.
They're watching any video that shows you mistakes that other people make. That's okay. Everybody makes mistakes. So is the phrase talk in English wrong?
No.
Is that a mistake? Let's
No.
see how people use this phrase in real life. The first video I want to show you is from another YouTube English teacher. Her name is Stephanie. She has a lot of videos and she's been teaching English for a long time. And she uses the phrase talk in English in her video. Let's watch.
And then she just watched so much TV in English and she listened to so much music in English that now we can talk in English and have an entire conversation.
Yeah, exactly. This is a normal use case. I can't really tell. I mean, accent-wise, she could be a non-native speaker. I don't feel like she is, though. If she is one, she has reached a point in terms of accent that it is not an easy call. But this is totally a normal way of using the word talk.
And she understands.
And it would be totally normal. You could say speak too. You could say speak here too.
Everything.
The next video that I want to show you is from a man named Douglas Holtz Eakin, and he's speaking at the University of Michigan. And this is a very formal, very official speech, and he uses the phrase talk in English.
What I've learned is that you have to make good policy good politics, and you have to be able to talk in English to non-specialists.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so here what he's saying is talk, and what he means, I'm trying to get at the distinction here. So why is he saying talk here? He's saying talk because he's talking about, like, the practical, the practical aspect of language. To be able to have a conversation, to be able to be understood, you know.
Into the political environment.
Now, the next video is with a man named Pellegrino Riccardi, and he's giving a TED Talk. You've probably seen a TED Talk.
Yeah, see, and talk, again. You could not call it a TED Speak. Actually, I mean, you could say TED Speak. And if you were to say TED Speak, what you would be suggesting is that there is a way of speaking that either is associated with somebody called Ted, or that is associated with the rarefied environment of TED Talks. This is cool. This is actually, I wasn't sure where I was going to go today. I'm enjoying going here. This is interesting stuff. This is language nerding on a level that I haven't done it on here before.
Talk on the internet or on YouTube or somewhere before, and TED Talks are very informative, but they're also very formal. They speak to a very large audience of people. And in this video, he uses the phrase talk in English. Let's watch.
Now, as I say, I travel a lot, so I like playing with the airlines. I like going up to the airlines and talking English, or sometimes I talk with an Italian accent, to see what kind of reactions I get.
All right, then.
Yeah, okay, and again, that's not an unusual way of using it.
Next video that we're going to watch was actually published by the White House in the United States. The man speaking in this video is the Deputy Secretary. His name's Michael Connor, and he served in the Obama administration in the United States government. He also uses the phrase talk in English. Let's watch.
Name is not ringing a bell.
The secretary, well, first he leans over to me, says, "You know, my Spanish isn't that good. You know, should I try it out here, or should I, just talk in English?" I'm like,
Yeah, again, I mean, totally normal way of saying this.
Are you kidding? You're asking me?
Okay, so I think you understand that people use the phrase talk in English, and it's not a mistake. People say it a lot. The next video that I want to show you is from a man named Clarence Thomas.
Oh, God. The corruptest, creepiest asshole on the Supreme Court, and that's saying something.
He's one of the most famous judges in the United States of all time.
Yeah, famous specifically for sexually harassing a large number of women before he got on the court, and for the fact that he does not recuse himself from cases where his wife is counsel for one of the parties. Yeah, I mean, he's a suck judge.
And he uses the phrase talk in English.
He's also kind of famous for the fact that you do not hear him talk in English or otherwise at oral argument. It is extremely rare that he opens his mouth at oral argument in the court.
To some extent, that's what we do to law. We start talking about negative pregnants, and we use double entendres and throw in a little Latin and a little this. Why don't we talk in English? You know, that farmer in rural Alabama has a right to...
I mean, as opposed to the farmer in urban Alabama.
Know what his constitution says.
And the last video that I want to show you is from a British English speaker. His name is Luke, and he's also a YouTube English teacher. Let's watch.
When Italian speakers talk in English, they are likely to follow the Italian rules and pronounce any double letter as a longer sound.
Which, yes.
So, as you can see, the phrase talk in English isn't a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing that I'm getting from this, there are two things going on in this distinction between talk and speak. In all of these cases, you could say speak. In all of these cases, it would be totally normal, totally correct to say speak. So, but it has a different effect. And in each case, it has to do, there's a certain, I think, informality to it a little bit. And it's like there's a focus on the kind of practical aspect of using language. It is more of a focus on that. Speaking, I feel like, is more abstract.
It's a phrase that people really use. Teachers use it, native speakers use it, everybody uses it.
Yeah.
Next, I want to show you 3 tools that you can use to check if your English teacher is correct in the things that they're saying, especially when it comes to specific words or phrases that they say that you shouldn't use. Again, remember...
Yeah, and really, let's just start out with the idea that you shouldn't use. Because I would say a lot of the time they're not correct on that. Because they are using prescriptive rules rather than taking into account the fact that you could use certain phrases, use certain expressions, and the point of them would be to have a certain effect. I mean, I used to get this a lot with, in English classes and, other classes where I would, have to give, grammar example sentences or some shit like that. Because I would often be going for very specific types of effect with what I was writing, like irony or absurdity or something like that. And so they would look at that, they would assume that I had to be getting it wrong, because otherwise, why would I be saying this thing? And so, I mean, one thing to really just keep in mind is there's probably a use case for every single thing that that somebody says not to say.
Remember, I'm not always correct, so it would be great for you to check me too. Check other teachers, check me, check everyone. Sometimes people think they know a lot about a topic, but they can still make mistakes. The first tool I want to show you is called En Garde Viewer, and this is part of Google. You can just find how often or how frequently a word or a phrase is used. And Google has inventoried all of the texts that they could find into electronic...
Okay, that is cool as hell. I didn't know this existed. What's it called?
Format, and they can search through all of those texts and tell you how often words and phrases are used. So this lets you know if a word is old-fashioned or we don't say it anymore, or if a lot of people say it now. And on the screen you can see...
Now I'm curious, does he have a link for this? Let me see. Oh, Google En Garde. En Garde. Interesting. Books, Google.com. I'm going to just link this in chat because this is a really cool thing. Because sometimes you're going to want to... Sometimes there are phrases that just sort of randomly pop up that nobody seemed to be saying just recently, and then suddenly they're all over the place. And it's really useful to have a tool where you can actually check out whether this is in fact a new thing or where it came from. I love this. I absolutely love this. And definitely a good tool for verifying whether it is in fact true that something is just wrong in English, and hopefully also to give you sources indicating that help you determine what kind of effect it has, what meaning it is used with. So yeah, I think that's really cool.
See that I've typed in the phrase talk in English, and it's actually become a lot more popular recently, and more people are saying this phrase.
The last 20
but
years.
of course everybody saying it doesn't make it right. So let's...
Yeah, well, no. If everybody's saying it from the point of view of language use, then if all native speakers are saying a thing, then it is certainly accepted usage within the language. The question is not, is it right? The question is, what effect does it have? That is, as the language learner, is the interesting question. Whether it's right depends on what your standard is.
Let's go to the next tool. The next tool that you can use to check if something is correct or not is ChatGPT. This is artificial intelligence.
I would not use this at all. Because the thing about this generative AI is that it is not... It is literally incapable of telling the difference between accurate and inaccurate information.
Intelligence or AI, and you can just ask it if something is correct and it will tell you. So
yeah, it will tell you. That does not mean that it's right. It is absolutely not. I mean, this is definitely, don't use this. Like, people have often tried to use Talk GPT as a source of information because they think it's looking stuff up for them. It's not. It is absolutely not.
In this case, I just asked, is it correct to say talk in English? And it answered, yes, it is correct to say talk in English when referring to speaking in the English language. And then let's look at the third tool. This one is called Youglish. And basically what you can do with this tool is you can type in a word or a phrase, and it will show you YouTube videos that include this word or phrase.
Okay, that's neat. That's really neat. Okay. Youglish. Listen. Looking up
The
anti-disestablishment.
grandfather of all nominalizations, anti-disestablishmentarianism, contains at least 2 verbs.
Yeah, okay. Okay, that's neat. That's a cool little thing. Okay, wait a second. Reopen, close tab. Yeah, okay. Cool resource. Very cool resource. Not ChatGPT. ChatGPT definitely is not something to be asking to verify your information, because ChatGPT, one of the things that ChatGPT and other fucking generative AIs are known for is that they will lie to you.
YouTube automatically generates captions and text for videos, so this tool can search through that text and find videos that include the word or phrase that you're looking for. In this case, I typed in talk in English, and I found a lot of videos that include the phrase talk in English, and I've already...
Okay. This could be used for other things, because sometimes as a streamer or video creator, you want to find a phrase said in a particular way to clip, just as a reaction kind of thing. And you could use this and find it.
already shown you a lot of them today in this video. So I hope those tools really help you to find the truth, to understand if what your teacher is saying is correct or not. And then you can go to your teacher and you can say, look, I found this information. It's different from what you told me, and I just want to know the truth. So let's find the truth together. Let's just check it together. You should be respectful when you tell someone that you think they're wrong, but it's okay to find the information, show them, and say, let's learn it together. Now,
I don't know. I mean, I think the real key is more... See, I mean, it kind of depends on the context, but the real key is trying to understand the standards here. What does it mean for something to be correct? Because a lot of the time when somebody says something's wrong, it isn't wrong. It's just, it has an effect that they don't think you're trying to have. What matters is not, like, correctness in some abstract sense, but whether the thing you're saying has the effect you're trying to have.
Now, at the beginning of this video, you probably wanted to learn how to use the verbs talk and speak. Talk and speak really have the same meaning. In the video about talk and speak by the two English teachers that I told you about, they said this. They said that speak is more formal and talk is less formal. And I absolutely agree with that. Talk and speak are both about communication, but...
Okay, wait a second. Now I'm kind of curious. I decided to just look up shitballs on the En Garde viewer, and I'm gonna have some fun with this. But okay, so before 1965, nobody had ever put it in a book that is on Google Books. But in 1965, there is one source for the term shitballs. I mean, and now I want to know, like, who was the first person to put shitballs into the printed word? I want to know. That's the... I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this.
But speak has a second meaning. It's about the ability to use language or to produce vocal sounds.
Also
That's
true.
why when
Although talking can also mean producing vocal sounds.
we speak about a language, we usually use the word speak. So we ask people, do you speak English? And I say, yes, I speak English. And I also
And it's true, he does.
speak Russian. In fact, I have a channel where I teach Russian. So I understand that it's difficult to speak another language, and it's really difficult to teach another language. Это сложно не только говорить на иностранном языке, но еще его преподавать.
Yeah. Yeah, and... Yeah, вот, ему и трудно произносить.
So when we're talking about the ability to use language, we use the verb speak. And there's a funny example that might help you remember this. In English, when we want to tell a dog to bark, we can say speak.
Yeah, true. True. I always found that interesting.
Speak, boy, speak. It means use your language, use your sounds.
Yeah,
It
in a
doesn't
very
mean that we're
abstract
going to
kind of way.
communicate. It's about the ability to use language. And that's why we can say speak to the dog and not talk. But the first meaning of speak is the same as talk. It's just about communicating. And there are 4 prepositions that people sometimes confuse when they're using the verbs talk and speak. So let's...
Okay, interesting. Let's see. 2 with about 4. But there's also of. Yeah, you can also... He's missing of. Speak for, like, to represent somebody. To talk for somebody, also to represent somebody. To speak on somebody's behalf. No, actually, let me see. I'm not sure what the hell this graph is actually meant to be showing here.
Let's talk about those right now. The first one is the preposition to. Talk to someone, speak to someone. Remember, the only real difference between talk and speak when it's about communication is that speak is a little more formal. So,
I think it's also a little more abstract.
Talk to someone.
I mean, actually, if you say, I'm going to speak with somebody, that almost kind of suggests like maybe they're in trouble. Like maybe there's a problem.
Speak to someone, they're both correct. But when we use the preposition to, we're usually describing the situation in a unidirectional way. The communication is moving in one direction.
That's what these graphics are for. Okay, thank you. Because I was trying to figure out what was going on.
After all, that's what to means. This is a little different from talk with someone and speak with someone. Because when we use the preposition with, it shows us that this is not unidirectional, but it's multidirectional. In other words, the communication goes back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, granted, if you say to talk to somebody or speak to somebody, like if I say, I spoke to him yesterday, that can also indicate, in fact, it would be normal for that to be understood to mean that they also said things too. That they said things to me. But the emphasis is on the fact that I said something and the person on the other end of it was him. So it is not, like with to, it is not inherently unidirectional. It's more a matter of emphasis.
This is a small, subtle difference between talk to someone and talk with someone. Now, in most cases in real life, native speakers don't think about that small difference. So,
yeah, in fact, native speakers, I mean, that's one, I would say that's a difference where you would actually find that native speakers, particularly native speakers who are big, for professional reasons or other reasons, are very careful in how they phrase things and are very conscious about the effect they're trying to have, will have given some thought to that. But all of this is not something like, all of this is stuff that a native speaker is unlikely to have given detailed consideration to.
So I might say I'm talking to John, or I might say I'm talking with John. And nobody's really sitting around thinking, does that mean he's only talking to John and John's not talking back? Or are they both talking?
Yeah, in fact, the assumption, again, would be that they're both talking.
People don't usually think so deeply about that phrase when they're just having a conversation. But there is this small difference that exists. The next preposition that we should talk about is the word about. This is when you're communicating with someone and it describes the topic of the communication. So we can talk about sports, or we can speak about sports. Again, speak is just a little more...
Yeah, although C can sometimes... See, this would seem to suggest that the person, that whatever is being talked about is not also what's being talked to. So, like, that A and B can only talk about C. But actually, A and B can be talking about A or B, too.
More formal. We can talk about John, or we can speak about John. And maybe that means that John isn't with us when we're speaking, or maybe he is with us. It only tells us what the topic of the communication is. And then the last preposition that I want to tell you about is the one that most of my students make mistakes with. It's talk for someone and speak for someone. This describes a situation.
Okay, I'm very interested to see if what he's going to say about the distinction that's being made here.
Situation when one person cannot communicate, so another person communicates instead. Or we might say another person communicates on their behalf. But
oh, that's not the only meaning though. Like, if say I'm a speech therapist, and I'm trying to get an idea of how somebody talks, I might say, you know, then I would have them talk for me, or I would have them speak for me. In both cases, I would be not saying that they're speaking on my behalf, but simply that they are uttering words for my benefit.
We can just say another person speaks for them or talks for them. A good example of this is if I go to a restaurant in your country and I don't speak your language, then I can try to speak English to the people working at the restaurant, but they might not understand me. So instead, I can tell you what I want to order, and you can order my food for me. You can speak to the waiter for me. You can speak to the people at the restaurant for me. So I don't do it myself. I want it, but I don't do it myself. You do it for me. I hope that's helpful. Now, remember, everybody makes mistakes. Teachers make mistakes. Presidents make mistakes.
Interesting choice.
Everybody makes mistakes. That's because we're all human. And another part of being human is that we don't like it when other people correct our mistakes.
Let me just drop this. Okay. This is almost over. I'm going to just drop the link to this video in chat for anyone who doesn't already have the link and is interested in it. This is, I mean, that's an interesting topic, this talk versus speak. Yeah, there's another preposition that he missed, though. Because you can also talk of, and you can speak of. Though, and in both cases, that is just a more synonymous with about. But it does have sort of a certain, I don't know, old-timey kind of feel to it, or also sort of a more formal feeling. And also with talk to and speak to. There's another important distinction to be made. And this is one where there is definitely a red line between speak and talk. Because talking to always is going to mean that that's going to refer to a conversation with whoever follows the word to. But speak to can also mean to address an issue, to speak about something. I can speak to a certain point, meaning I'm going to talk about that point. And that does not work with talk. That is like one of the, in fact, when I'm thinking about it, that is one of the very few real red lines that there are between speak and talk. There aren't a lot. It is very much a vibe thing.
If we haven't asked them to do that. In this video, I'm not saying that anyone is bad or anyone is good or that anyone is better than anyone else. All of the teachers that I've shown you in this video, I've personally sent them an email. I've asked them if they want to collaborate. So I respect them. And if any of you are watching this video, I'm open to collaboration. So reach back out and let's have a call and let's do something.
Actually, I mean, this is really cool. And with that, I think we're going to call it a day, actually. It's a good stopping point. Good video. Thank you again, Georgian. That was a great video that you came up with there. Very interesting topic. I'm very much open to having more like this. If people want to hear more stuff like this, where I'm looking at these sort of fine distinctions in English or other languages, that's also cool. Then, I mean, I'm all for it. It's an interesting subject for me. These are things that I like to think about. And with that, let me just say, if you are enjoying this, please like and subscribe. And hit that notification bell so you know when I'm going live or I've uploaded something new. So otherwise, you won't necessarily get a notification about it. And also, I would be very happy for people if people want to contribute to the crowdfunded translation project, which also helps me just kind of cover my general living expenses and stuff. I will be back at tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. US Eastern Time on Twitch, and I look forward to seeing you then.